Hey guys, welcome to another one of our videos. I'm the Worm, this is the Proton. Today we're going to be doing a mod, mechanical mod, that we did receive free of charge, but another one of those ones, but we got to send back. Damn it! But it is what it is, so yeah, today we are doing the...
what we're doing today is the EHPro Caravela clone 18650. This was sent down to us by Neil from the Facebook group, who said come and have a play with it basically, so that's what we've been doing. Yeah, so a big thank you to Neil obviously for both of us sending that down to us. He is a massive hoe. Very quickly, obviously we got it from Neil. You can't get it from Neil, but you can get it from modsandhatties.com. Price on it is $31.99 with just 650 tube, guys. If you're used to the Vela coming in a full kit, it's not a full kit. You can buy each one a different size, it's your preference, which is awesome sauce if that's what you want to do. There you go.
Mr. Proton's going to do a little bit of a close up for you now. So we're going to go down there, and we're going to come back up and have
a monumental flappery-doogan. This is a little close up of the EHPro Caravela clone. Okay, so as with the Enzonic, nice little presentation box, awesome stuff. We like to see it. Alright, it will go in the bin, but we like to see it. Well, it won't because it's Neil's, but you know what I mean. Once you get inside, okay, if we just pull the mod out, we've got a bit of bubble wrap in which ensures the mod's safe, and then we've got the mod itself. You've got a little deck that you can pull up, and in here you have got you've got an extra spring for your switch, and then you've got two additional screws. I don't know if you can see those, guys. Let me just get them out. I might be able to see them there. There you go. They're different sizes. Okay. Effectively, what that is for your battery rattle. I'll show you those in a second, though. Right, let's drop that in there, and we'll crack on with the rest of the review. Right, Caravela. What we've got here is stainless steel. Okay. Now the top cap, and then your bottom of the switch, and then your top of the bottom of the switch, if that makes sense, are off coloured. Now they are still well, they could be brass here. It looks like it might be yeah, a brass, I'd imagine. Right, okay. It's just, it looks stilled from the outside. It's kind of strange. It's not as predominant as I expected. 650 tube, guys. It's a 650 mod. Bear that in mind. We'll open it up. Start with the top, and we'll work our way down. At the very top, you've got 510. Okay, you've got air paths cut there for your air feed if you want a flush mount, which you are more than capable of doing on this device. Easy stuff. What you do is unscrew your screw here, like so. Place your atty on top, and then screw it back up until it makes a contact. Okay, then you would take your top cap and your atty and stick it on your mod, and give it a check for battery rattle. If there's battery rattle, then use the bigger screw. I mean, if it's sort of sitting like this, then use a smaller screw. Alright, that's what them screws are there for. There is a downside to this. If you use several different types of batteries out and about, you may have to carry these screws with you, which means potentially losing them, but that is what it is. Typically one battery lasts you out and about for a day anyway. Brass screws, contacts really good on them, we've found anyway. It hits just nice. And obviously you've got a nice bit of dough insulation there, which comes through to the top. You can just sit there, obviously, to protect yourself from shorting on the top cap. Going down, 650 tube. You'll notice, guys, there are no markings on this. Alright, there's no markings on this, none of it. Alright, so it is a Caravela clone. Yes, it is not a 1-1 clone. No, we do agree with this. This tube feels solid. I mean, I think I could quite happily jump on this and it stand up and be absolutely fine. It's very thick, it's very weighty, it feels as it should. It's a sort of a polished finish on the outside, which is awesome stuff, and then you've got your threads here and here. So that is what it is. I do want to point out something really quickly, guys. Just if you were interested in doing this, it's unlikely you would be, but if you were, because of battery, the threads on the EOS are the same as the ones on the Caravela. So you could hybrid the Caravela with the EOS if you wanted to. That's your choice though, alright? Tube's a tube, what more can you do? It's a tube, but in terms of quality it feels very nice, and obviously the finish is nice and shiny. It is a fingerprint magnet, guys, just be aware of that, because I covered it in fingerprints, and I'm going to make sure there's plenty on it when I send it back to Neil. And then we're moving down to the switch. Okay, fairly simple design with a switch, something we're quite used to seeing in a lot of these new mods. Dowring on the outside here, there's your contact. Your battery sits on top of the dowring, and then as you push your switch in, it comes up and it'll make a connection for you. Very simple stuff. This switch feels lovely. It's got a nice sort of bounce to it. It almost feels like a magnetic switch. It's not, but it almost feels like one. Reverse threaded locking ring there as well. Do like it. Doesn't necessarily need it, but you do like it because it means you're not unscrewing your bottom switch every time you want to loosen off your firing button, which is awesome stuff. Threadings feel good, okay, and then moving down to the switch, it's just a sort of plain switch, but sometimes less is more. And yeah, it's got a nice, using this mod, it feels very nice. You can get away with pushing close to the edge, but not right on the edge, okay, so just bear that in mind. I haven't found it fires under its own weight with an Atty on it. It depends on the size of the Atty, but with a K-fan on, no problem whatsoever. And yeah, that is what it is, guys. It's very, very nice. The screw threads on everything, including the switch and everything else, feels as well it should. Oh, hello. He says that and he throws the top. Everything just locks together really nice. It feels very solid. And it looks lovely, and like the fact it hasn't got the ship and stuff on in terms of moral stance anyway. So yeah, that is what it is, guys. EHPro Caravela clone, lovely stuff.
That was the up close of the Caravela clone that Neil sent us. He's got a smoke in his mouth, I don't know why. He always wants to make more noises like he does before each video, so just ignore it for 2 minutes.
Mad child.
Yeah, it was £31.99 from modsandats.com. It is .com. I just checked out the corner, it is .com. They got loads of different clones on there. All, I would say, they're definitely slightly better than Fastech, but they are still clones.
Yeah, they're more expensive than Fastech, but UK next day, get what you pay for. It is what it is. We have got a genuine 1.1 Caravela clone coming from Fastech at some point, and we'll do a little testy dingle compared to that. I'd imagine this is going to feel a lot more solid than that one though, just to be honest with you.
If there's anything like the Chi, you just don't know.
We don't know, yeah, we don't know. That's from
Fastech can be just as good, or they can be
shocking.
Shocking, yeah, at best. So,
indeed.
Yeah, this is obviously available in 3 different sizes, guys. There's 18350, 18500 and 18650, but you have to buy them separately.
Yeah, you can't get a kit at the minute with all 3 tubes, which is a shame because it'd be nice to pay an extra £10 and have all 3 options if that's what you want. I mean, this in 350 is going to be tiny, it just is, and it's a lovely little button press and stuff. In 350 it would still feel like a very well made mod, very heavy, that kind of thing. This is a heavy mod. I haven't got the weight of it, don't know the weight of it, but if I threw it at you I'd probably kill you. So yeah, just bear that in mind, it's all decent stuff. What are we going to do? Should we go on to 5 point and then we'll do our big flappy doogan on the other side?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Well, they've been not as big lately, has it? So
no,
it's more precise to the point.
Not like us.
No, we haven't had much to flap about.
I wouldn't imagine that it's going to stay that way for long, to be honest with you guys, but you never know. So yeah.
Some of you do prefer our shorter-ish videos, which even the short ones are still half an hour long, so...
No! Right, what we'll do is then, we'll start off with looks. Looks, for me, I like it, I do. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for looks. I personally prefer a matted body as opposed to a polished one, which you can get in a real Caravela if you choose to. Not an option that's available here. And I'd like the detail, the brass, to be more brass, if that makes sense. I'd like it to be a darker brass. Just nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking. No guys, it's a bloody good looking mod. It's just it's a shame it hasn't got the ship on it really, isn't it? But yeah, 9.
I'm giving it a 10. I really like this. It's there's nothing there to distract you. It does what it does. You put a battery in it and it fires your atomizer. That's all you really need it to do, and this is all it does. It's very simplistic, but it's simplistic in a beautiful way. That just those two slightly different tones of a brass, not the normal brass you'd expect to see on mods these days, but it's more. It seems dulled and then polished.
It's more subtle, isn't it?
Yeah, and I prefer that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a few brass mods out there that I like, but I prefer the brass than this, and I would like a completely brass mod like this. So yeah, 10.
Sweet. Usability. It's a mechanical mod. You stick a battery in, push a button, and you're away. It's got a reverse threaded locking ring, which is awesome stuff. Sorry, the button press is firm, but not ridiculously firm. It won't fire under the weight of this K-Fun and the own mod itself, and the fact it's not firing under its own weight is amazing, since how heavy it is. and you've got your adjustable pin. Now I know it's a screw and it's got a slot in it if you want to use a screwdriver, but I've had no issues whatsoever at all with just doing it by hand. So I literally undo the screw by hand, plop a new one in, tighten it up, jobs are good. And you have got to use different screws for different batteries. I mean, if I was using a nipple top, for example, or even just a different 650, because these are slightly smaller, these 650s, may have to get the smaller screw out, but you get all of them included. I'm going to give it a 9.5 purely because you've got the screws that you have to chop and change. It's not like even the tube, for example, where you've got it in the device constantly, you just have to play around with it. With this one you may actually have to carry bits and bobs with you, and them screws are small. So yeah, 9.5 for me. I'm
still going to give this one a 10 because let's be honest, if you're using flat top batteries, you generally buy quite, I mean, we use the 30 amp batteries. I have 2 MMKEs, he has 3 Sonys left.
I had 4, I blew one up.
He's got 3 Sonys left, all exactly the same size. For us, it's not a problem. No. From us, it's a 10. There is no change in a battery problem because it's the same battery pretty much going into it. There may be like microns of a millimetre in there that's different.
It's not going to be noticeable.
It's not going to be noticeable by that screw. It's still going to make contact every time. And for those sort of people that are saying, yeah, you use the same batteries all the time, or you buy in bulk, not going to be a problem. If you are one of those people that have got different tube sizes, if you bought them in different tube sizes because you can't get the tube separate at the moment, you've got the different mods, so they're all set up for the things. If you're using 18 350s, you're going to have that same sort of battery in that and the same sort of battery in the 18 500.
It's rare that it's going to be the case, to be honest with you. As Worm said, it's going to be a case of typically you have 2 of the same battery, or 3 of the same battery. And I'm not being funny, but even the 30 amps, 1600 mAh will last all day in this, and they'll last me all day in this just because they hit hard, and they hit hard all the way down to they're empty. So it's not necessarily a negative per se, depending on how you're viewing it and what you're using in your setup. I've got to say though, with the adjustment in this, speaking about the Qi and the Qi being involved in anything else, with this it's still easier to set up than the Qi. You literally get the right screw it in and screw it on the mod, and then you can undo the top cap, piss around with it, whatever you've got to do, and it'll go straight back on and make a connection. For me, the screw size thing was more because of the atomizer you're sticking on top of it if you change ATI a lot. But you tend to, if you're going out and about, you will tend to have 1 ATI, 1 mod, 1 battery, or possibly a spare battery and a little bottle of juice. You don't tend to run 15, 20 different atomizers when you're out and about. Even we don't. We may run 2 or 3, but then we have 2 or 3 mods. So that is what it is. I pretty much use the same stuff and the same stuff all the time. The only thing that really changes in it is when I'm changing out the batteries charge, and I have pretty much 2 of every kind of battery that I've got, and they're all similar. Go in pairs.
And I only use pretty much the MMKEs at the moment, and my Sony 10 amp little 18500s, which you can't get hold of anymore. No, not Panasonic ones, they're Panasonic ones, sorry, but you can't get hold of them anymore. They're little grey ones, and they are 2,210 mAh, and you just cannot get them anywhere. If anyone finds them, that's no. Yeah. You want like 20 million of them. 20 million,
for sure. Maintenance, in terms of everyday use, very little. You've got to keep your contacts clean now and again, which is the 2-second job, bit of Brasso, and then wipe it down if it gets dirty. So maintenance in general is fairly easy. If you're anal about your mods, this is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet. I do want to say though, it's not as bad as an actual Caravela. The fingerprints are there, but you've got to really look for them. So you'd have to be uber anal to want to polish this every 10 minutes. And not practical either. So 10, I can't give it anything. I'm going to 10 little polishes. It's no different to any other mod. My Brass Qi U is a lot more work than this is in terms of polish, because you literally polish it. By the time you finish one tube, the other one's patinaed. So yeah, it's 10 for maintenance, easy stuff.
Yeah, you got to make sure your contacts are always clean and away from like any kind of dirt or build up of carbon and stuff that gets kind of burnt onto it. Other than that, I wouldn't even say you really have to clean this one. It's not one. It's one that literally you can wipe in your t-shirt 2 seconds and it's done. I mean, maybe like once every 6 months you may want to get the Brasso out on this, but other than that, it's a 10 hands down. There's nothing really to play around with this. I mean, the only other thing that maybe I can see going, because it is a heavy mod, if you're constantly standing on that button, that spring may deteriorate a little bit over the course of a year. But you're talking like a spring every year. You've got 10 new mods by then. Let's be honest. You're well beyond that. That's like a 4-month-old. That's well in the drawer. Back up, emergency, or you sold it. It's a 10 all round. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Build quality and price. Price £31.99. I think any mod from the UK that's under 40 quid is a good price. Doesn't matter what it is. We're in reason, obviously, but pretty much any mechanical mod of this kind of form factor, so Skelly 19, Magneto, all these kind of mods, KTSs, are all good value for money. I think for 40 quid you can't really go wrong. £31.99 for what you're getting though. The build quality on this is excellent. The build quality is a 10, I want to throw that straight away. But what you're paying for this level of quality and materials used in terms of just how it feels to use every day, it's very well put together. It's easily a 10, it's not even a questionable 10, it's a 10 plus. You're getting a lot for your money with this mod, I think, anyway.
Yeah, £31.99 for effectively a full stainless steel with a little bit of brass in there. But the brass is only like 2 rings that are obviously fixed in place anyway. So it's pretty much a full stainless steel mod. And to get full stainless steel mechanical mods, they're pretty much, they're sitting around £40 to £50 for a good one. For an excellent one, you're looking at like the 100 plus. But you expect that for the name more than anything else. It's still pretty much the same build quality as the £50 ones. You've just got the name and maybe a little bit of a design in there that's a little bit better and works more to like your needs. But yeah, for this price, £31.99, it's a 10. The build quality of it, it's unparalleled for its price. It's excellent. It's a solid mod. You could literally throw this around on concrete and it would still fire afterwards. Yeah. You may have a few dents, but you throw it around on concrete.
The only thing I think that's come close to this kind of money recently has been the Enzonic clone by EHPro, which was from Modern 80s as well, and even that didn't really touch this. I
think because it's a full tube and none of that it's telescoping,
it's just
you've got
heavy it is.
No play in it whatsoever. It is a brick.
Yeah, it is. It's how heavy it is. It's also, the fact that you're venting through your switch, which means you've got no exposed vent holes, you've got your air channels cut in the top, you can flush them out and anything. It's 23mm. So, your K-funnel, which like mine is slightly sort of lip on either edge, but if you've got 23mm mods and you're using a K-funnel, you'll know how little that lip is. If you've got like foggers and Typhoons or Typhon clones or whatever, they're going to fit flush on it. I'd love to see a matte version or a brushed version, that would be my preference, and then you wouldn't have the fingerprint thing to worry about anyway. And maybe a ship, yeah. No, to be honest, it doesn't need it. It does what it's supposed to do. You've got the Skelly 8W or whatever, which is a Caravela clone, and them I've heard pretty wank, to be honest with you. So, in comparison to this, I can imagine it is going to be. We've held mods that are twice this price, and they don't feel as good as this. So that is what it is. Overall, shall I hit first or you? Overall, for me, it'd be ridiculous to say anything other than a 10. It really would. Everything has been pretty much 10s. I know a lot of our reviews recently. We're reviewing quite a few good products recently because everything's hitting 10s and we're recommending them. But if you want a Caravela clone, this is by far the best one I've come across. You can't really say more than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I gave 10 on everything. This is undoubtedly a 10. There is no other mark you could give it after the marks have been given it. And I do want to point out that if you are into mechanicals and that, yes, it is cheap and it is well made and it does hit hard. If you don't like the look of this, this is the only bit that would put any buyer off. Is if you don't like the look of this, don't buy it. Seriously, it's not. You're not going to be happy with it if you don't like the look of it. If you do want a Caravela or a clone, and you don't want to pay the price of a Caravela, this is where I put my money, hands down.
It's not just that, but if you want a Caravela clone but don't agree with the labelling thing as well, this is probably
I don't care about labels.
I know you don't.
If you want a clone that is well built of the Caravela, this is where I put my money, because we haven't got the Fast Tech one yet. We don't know how it hits, we don't know how it feels or anything. At the moment, this is where I put my money. When we get the Fast Tech one through,
it may change.
It may change, but it may not. It may still be
I can't see it be. I can see it being as good as this, and because you get the kit, I can see that playing a factor in it. Because although we don't tend to, you've got the option to run your different battery formats. But yeah, it's definitely a good one. And like I say, if you are one of the people that can't deal with the badges and clones and your whole politics of it, then this is something you probably agree with, because there is no labelling.
It's somewhere you can sit in the middle and be quite happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And not feel like you're robbing anyone, basically.
Pretty
much.
Let's
be honest, I know we're touching a little bit more, but I just want to say that, because obviously people do comment on this like on pretty much all of our clone videos now, if you don't agree with the clones, don't buy them.
Yeah.
If you want a proper one, you will put the money in for a proper one.
If you want a proper one, then go and sit on Vaporwall, wait for your list to be posted, sit there and beg and pray that you're able to get hold of one, and if you are, feel free to pay 300 quid for it with the extra tubes.
And feel free to put a little video up and say, well, I got one, blah blah blah, and I'll be like, I paid this and got it 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. That is what it is. the mod itself, I haven't got the Tanko with me, but I did do a test for Neil because Neil was very interested to find out what it was hitting. Standard 1.5 ohm load, fully charged, 650 Sony 30 amp, so it will be high because it's a Sony 30 amp. But this, with the same setup as the Brass Chi was 0.1, wasn't it? This matched it. 0.1 drop off on a 1.5 ohm load.
And it's not brass,
The contact's brass.
Yeah, but the actual tubing actually, it should have been a little bit less, but it's not. We don't know what they've done. They've done it right.
It's dropping 0.1 under a 1.5 ohm load, so the Chi under a severe load, say 0.5 ohms, drops by about 0.3, 0.3.5. This will match that. So if you're looking for something that hits really hard, this definitely hits really hard. I can take a battery out of a mod over there, stick it in here, and it feels like it's a fresh charged battery in comparison to something like the 19, for example. So that is what it is. But yeah, there you go, guys. That's what it drops off at. So hard hitting, well built, cheap, delivered next day, UK sourced mod, and you're giving money to a UK company as well, which I do like.
Don't forget to obviously rate, comment, and subscribe if you want to subscribe. We don't say it very often in our videos, but we seem to be going up quite regularly now, and like the more people we get, the more we feel like we should be putting more content out. And at the moment, yes, it has been a little bit slow, but
we've been busy. We've
had some real life stuff going on, and it comes first, unfortunately. And we do hope you accept this and stay with us. We are getting back into the swing of it now. We're getting our heads around everything, and yeah, more videos coming soon.
Indeed. Obviously, guys, do check out modsandhatties.com. A few of the guys have been purchasing from there recently. I mean, always email. I can't remember what his name is now. Gary, I think it might be Gary. First, just to see what he's saying. He's quite happy to answer your questions. I know that Neil and Timo speak to him quite a bit. Neil's just bought a GGTS clone, EHPro one from there, and he's loving it. Pretty much everyone who's bought anything from that site so far has had nothing but good things to say about the site, the quality of service and the quality of products. And judging by the two that we've held, the Enzonic and this, both by EHPro, can totally agree with them. If you want a clone, and they're not always badge clones, but if you want a clone and you want it now as opposed to waiting 14 years from Fastech, you'll pay more, but you'll get it next day, and you'll be very happy with it, I imagine. So good stuff. Check it out. It'll be there somewhere.
Don't forget, guys, Facebook and Twitter down there if you want to come along. We're more active on, well, he's definitely more active on the Facebook. Twitter is kind of, if it comes through on our little things, we pop up and we answer questions there, but it's not very often it comes up on our devices. So
there you go.
Stick to the Facebook if anything, or comment, obviously.
It's not just that. Facebook's a nice place to be. We've had about 15-20 people join over the last, say, week, and always getting comments saying, "Wow, this group is massively active and everyone's very friendly," and so on and so forth. So if don't believe us, come along, and check it out. That's pretty much it, guys. To be honest with you, I definitely recommend this. Big thank you to Neil for sending it down to us, amongst many other stuff and things that he sent down to us.
More coming from him as well.
More coming from Neil as well. Yep, there's always more from Neil. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of him.
You love me, Neil.
Yeah,
you love me, Neil.
But yeah, no, very big thank you to Neil, obviously, and obviously all of you guys for sitting here and listening to us talk crap for 220 odd videos now. So yeah, big up to you guys as well.
Pat on the back.
Pat on the back. Thank you very much, guys. I've been Mr. Proton. This has been a worm. See you soon.